Hey my beautiful friends, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I have some more Dollar Tree Farmhouse Christmas DIYs for you. And also don't forget to watch the whole video through, and at the end, I will announce the winners to the chip brushes. If you did not win this giveaway, don't worry, I will have many more giveaways to come. So you definitely want to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on anything. So let's not waste any more time. I am so excited for this video, so let's jump right in. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, and I will catch you guys on the other side. Alright, party people, 1:30 in the morning, let's get crazy. Anyway, I start off by taking these two beware signs, and I just take the tags off. So basically we're just doing all the prep work. I take this quilter's ruler and I just take my utility knife, and only on one end of both signs you just want to run your knife right along that edge where the part that looks like wood is, just because we're going to piece these together. Once I have those cut down, and it's really easy, if you have a sharp knife, just score it a couple times, then you can bend it over and cut it from the back. But my knife was so sharp, I did it 3 or 4 times and it went right through it. But anyway, once I had it all cut, then I just sand the bottom to make it nice and smooth, and then I take my handy dandy favorite vacuum, and I just vacuum all that up. There's a link to my vacuum in the description box. It is one of my most used crafters tools, so you definitely want to pick yourself up one if you can. Anyway, after I sanded it down, then I just take some large popsicle sticks and some hot glue, and I just glue those together on the back. Once I had them glued together, then I just took some wood putty and I filled in the crack. I'm going to be honest, you guys, I'm really not a big fan of this wood putty. It's hard to work with. I found that the easiest way was just to take my putty knife, get some out, and then put it on the seam, and then just take my finger and smooth it out. Once I did that, I made sure to scrape off the excess, let it dry, and then I took my finger sander, which is also linked in the description box, and I sand that down so that we have a nice smooth surface. Again, I take my Dyson and I just vacuum that up, and then I take my favorite paintbrush, also linked in the description box. Sometimes the link doesn't work if they're like out of stock. Actually, now that I'm thinking of it, I should take the link off because I don't think that it works. Definitely check your local Walmart in the crafters section where all the paints are, and my local Walmart has it, so I'm sure yours does too. After I have it painted, and I did want to mention that I did not give this a really good coat. I like to just give it a thin coat, leaving some of this that wooden color poking through, because it just makes it look more rustic, and then you don't have to sand afterwards. So anyway, once I let that dry, then I went on my computer. I typed out Be Merry. I will leave all the information in the description box, so if you guys want to recreate this, then you know what fonts to use. If you don't have the fonts in your computer, then all you have to do is go to dafont.com and you can download them for free. So again, I will leave that in the description box. I used my Arteza graphite paper to trace it on, and then I go over it with my Arteza paint pens. You guys, look how smooth these paint pens are. I'm totally in love with them. They just go on so nicely, and they last a really long time. So I definitely recommend them. Again, it'll be linked in the description box. And when I tell you guys it'll be linked in the description box, it's just because I get so many questions on the products I use. So I do receive a small commission if you shop my links, which definitely helps the channel out, and buy more crafting supplies, because Lord knows when you get into buying crafting supplies, it literally never ends. So moving on, I had these from last year. These are iron-on fabric. I got it at Walmart in the crafting section around this time last year, so I'm sure you could find it, but we're not going to iron these on. We're actually going to just glue them. But I picked out the fabric that I wanted. I folded it in half. I then took a fabric marker and just kind of drew out a tree, which I'm going to be honest, I ended up scrapping this one. I hated it, and I just kind of freehand cut it. But if you don't trust yourself, just go on Google, type in tree, find one you like, and then trace it on there, and then you can have it perfectly the way you want it. But anyway, I went off on a little tangent there. Anyway, I folded it in half, and then I just cut half the tree, because when you fold it and you just cut one side, then you open it up and you have a full tree. So I did do that for both of them. For the green fabric, I did more of like a straight sided tree, I guess that's what you want to call it. And I did do the green side a little bit bigger than the red side. I then just took some large popsicle sticks. I laid out the fabric how I wanted it, and then I measured and I cut the trunk that way. And I did just use some regular scissors, no big deal. Once I had them cut, then I went in with some antique wax and I just painted over them lightly, because I did want some of that natural wood showing through. Had those painted, then I just took a glue stick. You guys, I'm a huge fan of glue sticks, just because you're not going to see it once it dries. So if you end up getting some on the front or on the side of your project, then it just disappears. So I do get the disappearing purple glue sticks, and I use them a ton when, you know, hot glue isn't really needed. Now, if you get these iron-on sheets, then you can definitely iron them on, but I saw no need. You could also use scrapbook paper or just regular fabric. I mean, the possibilities are endless. And you can change this up to suit your decor and how you like. I'm just bringing you guys the ideas, and you can switch them up however you want to. So anyway, if you guys recreate anything, definitely tag me on Instagram. My handle is in the description box. I literally love seeing all the projects you guys recreate. It really warms my heart and makes me happy to see that you guys enjoy it and you guys like my projects. So definitely do that. Anyway, once I had my trees glued down, then I just take some hot glue and I glue the trunks down. And we're coming up on the end of this project, so of course I just take my chip brush and I dry brush all the way around. Don't forget that the winners will be announced at the end of this video. Congratulations to everybody who did win, and like I said before, if you did not win, don't worry. Definitely make sure you subscribe, because there's going to be a ton more coming. If you guys want me to do another chip brush giveaway, just let me know. Like I said, I know that it's not a lot, but I more so do this just because I know that you guys can't get your hands on them, or maybe you just don't like to order from the internet. I mean, we're in 2020, so I don't know who wouldn't, but anyway, it's just a kind gesture to show my appreciation and to let you guys have the look of this dry brushing with the product that I use, because I literally love these chip brushes so much, and I honestly don't know what I would do without them. So I can't wait for you guys to try them, and I would definitely love if you send me a message letting me know how great they are for you. And last but not least, I just make 2 simple bows out of jute. I glue them to the top of the trees, and then I take this sawtooth hanger, and screws are too long, so I did just hot glue the hanger on there, and then that was that for that project. I love the way this turned out. I know you'll let me know in the comments down below which was your favorite. If you guys enjoy farmhouse decor, anything Dollar Tree DIYs, and farmhouse decor on a budget, then you've definitely come to the right place. I see that a lot of you guys watch, but you don't subscribe, and I would love to have you a part of the family so you don't miss out on anything. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoy it, and share it with your family and friends. Moving on to the next project. Now, for this part of the video, I did just kind of do all the prep work. So I take this 2 of these ho 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 signs with the little Santa, and although he's really cute, I knew that I wanted to make a much bigger sign, so I did just prep it the same way I did with the first one, except I did not cut the ends, and I did glue these side by side rather than top to bottom. So I just lay them down. I take my popsicle sticks and I go around or across the whole back to glue these together. Moving on, I just took some yardsticks from the Home Depot, as well as some large stir sticks, and I did just measure and cut them down with my saw. I did use my husband's saw because my mini miter saw was a little bit too small. So if you don't have that, a little hand saw will do. These are pretty thin and they're not hard to cut through, but I have power tools and it makes my life a lot easier. So I definitely just want to use what's going to be the easiest. But this is going to be a barn door. So for the barn door, I wanted those slat looking, or I wanted the slat looking part in there, but I didn't really want to go through gluing them all down. So this is just a much easier way. I just took my yardstick and I just scored along the lines. I just did it the width of the yardstick so that I would have nice uniform lines, and you just want to score it like twice, and then you can see that it looks really good. And I couldn't even believe once I was done that it wasn't real slats of wood. But anyway, I just glued down the trim around it, and then I took some popsicle sticks, I laid them out in the corners, and then I just ran it along the edge of the yardstick, and then I cut it out so that you have a perfect piece to fit in these corners. If you want to and you're not comfortable with cutting it, just glue your X's down before you put the trim around it. But this is really easy, you guys. I do zoom in the last clip just so you can see it a little bit closer, because it really is pretty simple, and when you're done it looks so high-end that you can't even tell that these are just popsicle sticks. I'm totally in love with it. So anyway, I just go around and I cut all of them before I glue it down. So once I have them all cut, then I do just glue them down with some hot glue. So once I had all my pieces glued down, then confessions of a tired mama. I started to paint this white, and then I was like, Melissa, what in the world are you doing? You have to sand this down. The yardsticks, I don't know if it's when they print them or what they do, but the numbers and the little lines are all indentations. So I sanded it down as best as I could, and then I painted it white. It wasn't perfect, which you can't tell in the end anyway, so I wasn't really worried about it, but if you're worried about it, then if you have an electric sander or if you want to sand your arm off, that's totally up to you. But I was not in the mood to sand this thing till, my heart was content. My heart was just content doing it as best as I could. And then once I painted it white, then I just went in with some red. Crimson from Waverly Chalk Paint, and I gave it another good coat. Now, you can skip the white part, just go straight in with red. My intentions were to sand down the edges to see the white through, but I ended up just dry brushing it per usual. So, like I said, do as I say, not as I do. One of my subscribers said that, and it's so true. But that's why I'm here to show you how the easiest way is to do it, even if I do it the longest and hardest way. So anyway, I just dry brush all the way around the edges as well as the X's, and then I go in with my small black paint pen and I just kind of highlight those lines in the middle. So I set that aside for a minute, and then I took this J and Y. I got these at Walmart for probably $1.49 or 29, something really cheap. And I just took my white Waverly chalk paint and I gave them a really good coat of white paint. Once I had those painted, then I do just set them aside, and I, per usual, take my chip brush and I just dry brush all the way around them. No, you guys, my hands do not move this fast. I did speed this clip up. Could you guys imagine if you could go this fast, how many projects we could get done? Wouldn't that be like absolutely totally amazing? You guys, I want to craft like all day every day, but it's like, do I do laundry or do I craft? I gotta clothe my kids and my husband, so I guess I gotta do laundry. Anybody struggle with that? Because it seems like a daily one for me. But anyway, once I have my letters done, then I just take some Canadian pine stems from Hobby Lobby. I kind of just piece them together because they're wired, and then I make a circle for a wreath. I then take some gold pit berries from Dollar Tree and I make another circle, but I doubled it up, and then I glue that down to the wreath, and I glue the wreath to the barn door. I then just take some little embellishments like these tiny little pine cones. Aren't they so cute, you guys? I love little stuff like this, but I just take some hot glue and I glue those down as well. Once I had my pine cones all glued down, then I did just go in with some red berries. I got the berries from Dollar Tree and I just randomly glued those down, made a simple bow. I got this ribbon from Walmart. I know I'm going to get questions, so if I can find the link, I'll link it down below. I believe it was $3.97, and then I just glued that to the top of our wreath. So next I take this handle. I got it from Home Depot for like 98 cents. I drilled that in. If you don't have a drill, you can just glue it down or screw it down, because these yardsticks are so, I guess you can say they're kind of soft. You could definitely get those screws in with a screwdriver, but I was going to leave it as is, and then I felt like it needed just a little more oomph. So I did just take some ink Waverly chalk paint and dry brushed all the way around this barn door as well. To finish this off, I did just take a sawtooth hanger, and for this one it was thick enough, so I did screw that in, just because this is a little bit of a heavier piece. So if I can get away with screwing it in, then I definitely like to do that, because it's going to last and I know it's going to hold up. But again, if you don't have a drill, just use a screwdriver or some hot glue. Totally up to you. And then that finishes this off. Oh my god, you guys, I'm so in love with it. My best friend already asked if she could have it, and I told her, I don't know, I think I want to put it up for Christmas, so I don't know. Anyway, moving on to the next project, I take this Merry Christmas sign from Dollar Tree. It is a square piece, and I take some lightweight spackling and I just fill in those holes. So once I fill in the holes, then I do take my square dowel. You can also find these in the description box in my Amazon favorites, and I just measure out a frame. So I start by laying the piece down. I mark where the dowel rod is going to stop on the top and the bottom. I mark it where it needs to be and then lay it between those lines, mark those, and then I cut each piece with my mini miter saw. I love this thing so much. I use it right here on my desktop. It's really easy just to vacuum up the dust, because it doesn't make very much dust, and it is also linked in my Amazon favorites. Once I had them cut, then I just take my finger sander and I sand off the edges, and then I take my stain and I just stain them using a paper towel. Now, I did use two different stains. I used Jacobian, and also I used Beryl Brown. So it's really up to you. Whatever stain you like, use whatever you have. You can even like water down some paint and use that as well. Again, the possibilities are endless. So I originally put that aside and started the prep work for a different project. So I glued 3 of these signs together, and I only needed 2, so I did in the end just break the piece off. So definitely, if you're going to do this project, then you only need 2 of these signs. But once I had them glued together, then again I took my wood putty and I just filled in those cracks as best as I possibly could. It never comes out perfect, you guys. If you're looking for perfection, sorry, this is not the place you want to be. I don't know, you guys, I'm feeling funny tonight. I don't know if it's exhaustion or what, but anyway, once I had the cracks filled in and it dried, then I did sand that down, and then again I went over it with a not so perfect coat of paint. So I put that aside as well to dry. We're going to go back to this little square piece, and then I give that basically the same exact coat that I did for the others. Very light coat so that you can see that brown poking through, just to make it look more rustic and weathered. I love that look. I don't know about you guys, but there's just something about it. And then, you know, because a lot of people sand it, and like I said before, it takes the sanding part right out. So anyway, I use this farmhouse. I'm dreaming of a farmhouse Christmas transfer from Chalk Couture. This will be linked in the description box below. I love this transfer, and I'm going to show you guys just how easy it is to get such a high-end detailed look. So you want to take your transfer off the backing and then take a fuzzer. I mean, you don't really need this fuzzing cloth. You can use your shirt or your pants. Basically, all you're doing is just taking some of that stickiness away so that you can pull it off of your surface. And then I just take some painter's tape over the parts that I don't want a certain color. That way, when you are using the chalk paste, then like I said, you won't get it in the places that you don't want it. So I just start by red, or I start with red at the top for the I'm Dreaming Of. I do the farmhouse in black, and then I do the little side pieces next to I'm Dreaming Of in black. And then I finish it off using the red for the Christmas. But when you're using these, you guys, you use your imagination. You can use any color you like. It's really honestly totally up to you. But it is really just as easy as peel, stick, and chalk. So if you want to learn more on how to save some money, then definitely shoot me an email and I can let you know all the details. So I did want to show you too that you can also mix your paint, or chalk paste. So if you don't have the color that you want to use, it's really easy to just mix them and get the color that you like. So I did just mix some green and white just to make like a lighter green. So I did like the leaves, the lighter green, and then the tree branch looking part in the regular green. And then I transferred the little deer at the bottom and the greenery around him, and then I did the berries in red. So I did give Rudolph a little red nose, just like a little finishing touch. And then I take our square dowel rods and I glue down the trim. So, oh my god, you guys, look how gorgeous this is. I'm so in love with it. So, definitely check the description box if you want to get these. They're really easy to use. I love them so much. I have so many of them now that I just want to use them all the time. So that's why I'm kind of incorporating them in these, because the only time I really get to craft is when I'm filming for you guys, just because my life is so crazy right now with a almost 3-month-old. You guys, can you believe that she is almost 3 months old? It blows my mind. But anyway, for this one, I just did the exact same thing. I didn't want to bore you, but I got kind of fun and used different colors. So again, it's your preference. Use whatever colors you like. So once I had that transferred, then I did just go around the edges once again with my chip brush and my ink Waverly chalk paint, as well as I dry brushed the middle just a little bit. And then that was it, you guys. That quick and easy, literally, to get such a high end. I would buy this for like 30 bucks probably, because it's really big and it just looks like it came off of a shelf in a store. So anyway, last but not least, you guys, I take this Happy Harvest tag. They do have some out for Christmas, and I do have those, but I just grabbed the first one on my shelf and this was it. So I just take my quilter's ruler and I draw lines. I don't even know how to explain it, kind of on a diagonal at the bottom, and then at the top more of like a straight peak. And then once again I took my utility knife and I just cut those pieces off. We're going to be making a birdhouse, and you guys know birdhouses are like more skinny at the bottom than at the top, so that is why we made this shape. I then just take this little longer decor piece, and I got this from my friend Jenny. She sent it to me. Thank you, Jenny. But I just kind of measure how long I want it. I rip off the end and then I open it up. They're really easy to open up. They're like held on by basically nothing, but I lay it out flat, cut it down to size, and then I glue it back together, starting with the piece that's already attached on the end, and then I flip it over to the other side, and then I glue down the piece that we took off. Once I had it all glued down, and I did use hot glue for this, by the way, then I do just go around the edges and sand them down just to make them look a little bit more finished, rather than like really harsh lines where we cut. Then I take a piece of a popsicle stick, I glue it to the back of this hole because the hole is so big. If you use your lightweight spackling without putting something to the back, it all fall out. So I did just fill that hole right in, and then I gave both pieces a really good coat of white Waverly chalk paint. So while those are drying, I take my little saw and I take 2 small stir sticks and I do cut the edge on a 90-degree angle so that when we put our roof on, then it can sit really nicely together. So I just took a clamp and clamped it down just because I wanted to do the end, and I knew that it would be kind of difficult with my finger there. So definitely when you're using one of these, I can link this in the description box as well. It's really small, so it doesn't really take up a bunch of space like those big yellow or orange ones that I've seen people use. So I definitely like that feature about it, but these are really easy to cut through as well. So I did do both of them on a 90-degree angle. Once I had them cut down, then I just lay them on the top of our little birdhouse the way that I wanted it, and then I just marked on my stir stick, and then I cut those down as well. Once I had them cut down, then I did sand off the numbers. These are not indentations where the numbers are, so they were really easy to just sand right off. And then I used my favorite stain, Jacobian, to stain those pieces. Next, I take my ruler again and I just draw a few lines. I wanted 2 red lines down each side, and I knew that I definitely could not paint or draw myself straight lines, so I used my ruler and they came out really cute. But anyway, once I had them the thickness that I wanted them, then I did just take some painter's tape, I taped it off, and then I painted those stripes with some crimson Waverly chalk paint. Next, I pull the tape off, I print out the letters J and Y. Once again, I'll leave the info in the description box. I take my Arteza graphite paper, again, the link to Arteza will be down there as well, and then I transfer those letters on and go over them with my Arteza paint pen. I then just made a circle with some nautical rope. I glue that down, and then I just took some greenery from a pick from Walmart, and I just glue those greenery pieces down right around that nautical rope. Once I had the greenery glued down, then I took some red pit berries from Dollar Tree. Again, I made a circle with them and then glued that down as well. Once I had my berries glued down, then I glued down this bow. I got this from Walmart, and I did just make a simple bow. If you guys are interested in my bow trick, I will leave it in the iCards in the right hand corner. Now, once I did this, then of course we need some dry brushing, duh. A piece is not finished without this dry brushing. You guys know it, I know it, and there's just no way around it. I mean, it just doesn't look as good. I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. Dry brushing or no dry brushing? So once again, I dry brushed the bottom piece. Now for this piece, I just used the same chip brush because I wanted that black to be in it as well. But I do dry brush it with some antique wax. And that I went a lot heavier on because I wanted it to look like a piece of wood. So I set that aside to dry, and then I glued our roof pieces down. So coming up on the end of the project here, I just took some Jenga blocks. Now these brown ones I don't really like to use because they're brown, so I use it for stuff like this. But I just glued down 5 blocks, 3 on the bottom, 2 on the top of those, just so that way we had something to glue to. I put a nice dab or a whole bunch of hot glue on the back of the sign and then glued it to those Jenga blocks, and then that was it for that project. I hope you guys enjoyed all these projects today. If nobody told you today, you're beautiful, you're loved, I love you, I appreciate you guys so much, you have no clue. I am so thankful for each and every one of you. If you haven't subscribed already, definitely subscribe. You don't want to miss out on anything. Like I said before, I still have so many Christmas decor projects for you guys, so you don't want to miss out on any of that. I love you guys so much. Please give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoy it. Share it with your family and friends if you think they would enjoy it as well. Those thumbs up and those shares really help my channel to grow and help YouTube to notice me just a bit more. Congratulations to Heather Kitchen, Dawn Walston, Teresa Marriott, Rosie 9057, Jody Williams, Ada Goodsworth, Misha 74, and Sharon Carroll for winning the chip brushes. Definitely get in touch with me via email. It is in the description box, and I will get those out to you. Thank you guys for stopping by. I love you, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.